Yes, quite. Captain Britain saved the day, indubitably. Yes, like Captain America, except he's a complete Anglophile, we are going to be talking about his alter ego from across the pond, Captain Britain. Yep, I didn't make this up, this is an actual superhero. Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and today we are talking about the Protector of the United Kingdom. No, I'm not talking about Sean Bean, I'm talking about Captain Britain. And no, it's not this character we're talking about, that's Peggy Carter, we're talking about this character. Captain Britain is the title used by various superheroes in the comic books published by Marvel Comics. The first time the character appeared in a comic was with Brian Braddock in Captain Britain Weekly No. 1. Endowed with mystical powers by the Amulet of Right given to him by the legendary sorcerer Merlin and his daughter Roma, he was assigned to be the protector of Earth 616 for the Captain Britain Corps, an interdimensional organisation who guard the Omniverse. So he's pretty much a galactic defender, and that just goes to show that the Empire never died. He was first brought into the fray in the original comic released on the 13th of October 1976, which was actually the first original comic printed and released by Marvel UK, which is pretty cool. I'm going to give you a moment to take a guess as to what his origin story is. If you said it was the death of his parents, then 10 points to Gryffindor, because that's exactly what happened to Brian Braddock. When he was younger, to which later he would find himself in a horrific biking accident, whilst bleeding out, he was approached by Merlin and Roma to be given a second chance at life. On his rebirth, he was given the choice of a couple of celestial items to aid him in his efforts, and he picked the Amulet of Right, the path of reason and not violence. The whole idea behind the comic was that this was an attempt by Marvel to make another Captain America, a clone but instead of the Stars and Stripes, just slap a Union Jack on him. Due to the fact that Captain America had cemented himself into the Marvel franchise as such a central figure, they wanted to replicate that success. Unfortunately, Captain Britain never quite got off the ground, largely due to the fact that aside from a few minor appearances, he was never a central character in the larger Marvel crossover comics, and was exclusive to select regions in the UK, limiting his reach and exposure. Whilst the character was given a few good moments of fighting alongside Captain America in the larger comics, this was few and far between, and he really didn't have much time to go into the limelight. Yep, there we are, fighting side by side, Brit and Yank fighting those dang Nazis. No, I'm not saying that as a joke, that was an actual comic. While Marvel tried to make it work, in the end his comic run ended and he did not feature for another few years until he was ultimately redesigned and, in my opinion, to be someone that looks quote unquote more like a superhero. Whilst there's been many iterations of Captain Britain in the past, this is by far the most popular version amongst fans, and is the most recognisable, specifically the series by Alan Moore and Alan Davis. So, for somebody looking at this character and thinking of what he's about, I don't really think you need to be told much, just look at the man, then I think you can clearly see what he fights for and who he is. I mean, he's Captain Britain for crying out loud. You can just tell by the getup. As far as powers is concerned, Captain Britain originally got his powers from the Amulet of Right, which imbued him with superhero strength, stamina, durability, agility, reflexes, sensors, and even the power of flight by channeling energies to fly through the air at great speeds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Captain America can fly, so one up to us. But also he is known for being generally quite acrobatic and quite intelligent, all of which are important traits for a superhero. His weaknesses in comparison mainly come from his self-confidence. The fact that if he is confident in himself, his powers grow with him. But the same is true when he doubts his ability, and that ultimately weakens himself. This is a pretty cool concept, but I can imagine that it will fail you at the absolute worst times when you don't really need it, and I think that's something that they'd probably be able to play on quite well. As I do with many of these video topics, I like to find a character that I find is interesting and cool, or perhaps just downright ridiculous. And whilst I do a very precursory view of them and go on the surface level, there is an awful lot to learn about this character, his lore, and what happens in the comics. So, if you're interested more in the character and want to look into him more, I would implore you to not only do your own research, But perhaps maybe even look into the comics that he's part of and maybe do yourself a bit of a history lesson of all things Captain Britain. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you've got any ideas for what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. So, maybe, just maybe, that if I was to grow an epic beard and get built like a brick shithouse, I too might be able to run for Captain Britain or to play his character in the MCU if that opportunity ever came up. I'm pretty sure Henry Cavill had a shot at it, but I'm coming for you, man. Just you watch. I think I need to start with a beard more than anything else. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.